CTV News at 11:30 with Ian Campbell and Rick Wyman with weather.
Well, good evening. Thanks for staying up with us. The latest financial picture out of Algoma Steel in Sault Ste. Marie isn't good. The company lost about $1 billion last year because of U.S. tariffs and a softening market. CTV's Courtney Nordstrom starts us off tonight.
2025 saw troubling times for Algoma Steel that amounted to almost $1 billion in net losses. In a conference call with investors, the company's chief executive officer noted the losses are due in part to the ongoing trade war. Quote, the unprecedented 50% tariffs implemented in June fundamentally broke the cross-border business model that Canadian producers, including Algoma, had built over decades. The consequences extended well beyond the U.S. border, creating an oversupply of coil in Canada and driving domestic prices up. Net losses of almost $365 million in the fourth quarter alone reflected the bleak outlook. Hoping to use the poor steel market to their advantage, Algoma Steel transitioned to its electric arc furnace early, resulting in 1,000 employees getting layoff notices.
Those are consequences of a business that's not making money. That's part of that is a transitioning to EAF, but a lot of it has to do with other places. There's been people laid off from all facets of the steel making because of the slowdown.
The company still has its metaphorical head above water between cash flow, unused revolving credit, and the $500 million in large enterprise tariff loan money from the federal government. It also has another advantage other Canadian steelmakers don't right now, with CEO Rajat Marwah saying, as Canada's only producer of discrete plates, we are not subject to the same oversupply dynamics that are compressing coil pricing. Demand for plate products across infrastructure, construction, and defense remains healthy, and we expect freight production to increase sequentially as our relief ramps through 2026. End quote. From a union perspective, there's optimism, but also hope for more consistency.
I don't think our highs were ever as high as they were during the COVID years, where we made almost $1 billion. So I think in the last 10 years, we've probably had the highest of highs and the lowest of lows.
Courtney Nordstrom, CTV News, Sault Ste. Marie.
One person had minor injuries following a fire this morning at a home on Sylvan Crescent in North Bay. Damage is said to be extensive. 3 stations responded to the place just before 9 a.m. The fire started in the kitchen. According to the North Bay Fire Services, the house was destroyed while the fire is being investigated. It is not believed to be suspicious. New tonight, 5 people are facing charges following the search of a home on the territory last night. Wikwemikong Tribal Police say they found cocaine and cash as part of the operation. One man who had previously been given a trespass notice from Band Council was also reportedly found in possession of a replica handgun. A 38-year-old Toronto man along with a 47-year-old and 33-year-old Wikwemikong woman are facing several charges. Police also charged a 33-year-old man and 33-year-old woman from the community with possession of a controlled substance. The Supreme Court of Canada has rejected the appeal of sexual assault convictions for a former track coach and athlete from Sudbury. In 2011, a 19-year-old Laurentian University student was sexually assaulted while she was unconscious. In 2017, after Sudbury police undertook a major review of sexual assault cases, track coach David Case and athlete Céline Loyer were charged in connection with assaulting the teen. The pair were found guilty in 2020. The Ontario Appeals Court also upheld the verdict in 2024. One man has been arrested following the break-in of a bank on March 8th, while police are still looking for a second. North Bay police say they arrested the suspect Tuesday in the Main Street East and John Street area. One officer was sent to hospital following a brief struggle. A search of the suspect revealed an edged weapon and a small amount of fentanyl. He's being held in custody pending a bail hearing. The second suspect in the break-and-enter has not been identified or found. Well, fresh off joining their NDP colleagues in their tour of Northern Ontario highways, Sudbury's 2 NDP MPPs have issued an open letter to the Minister of Transportation about Highway 69, citing this comment made by the Premier last July.
Ever went from Sudbury down to the city? Like that 2-lane? That was like white-knuckled driving down there, and like it transport's off by 2 inches and you're done. So we made an agreement with 3 First Nations communities. We've bought their piece of property, so we're going to be twinning that, which we made the announcement. So.
Earlier this week, however, Magnettawan First Nation called out what they said was provincial inaction for stalling the 4-lane expansion of the highway, adding Ontario must address its land claim first. In their open letter, Jamie West and Francelina say they're looking for timelines on the start and completion of the 4-laning. They want to know the status of consultations with Magnettawan, Henvey Inlet and Shawanaga, how many meetings on the project have happened in the past 1, 2, and 3 years, and would it be possible to schedule regular updates for their constituents. The HSN Foundation in Sudbury is recognizing what it calls a transformative gift of $1 million. CTV's Lindsay Alick has details.
When donors choose to support Health Sciences North, they are not simply investing in equipment or buildings. They are investing in the people.
Health Sciences North Foundation has received a $1 million donation from the FDC Foundation.
They actually didn't want to be here today because they really wanted the celebration to be about the people who are doing the work.
The donation funded a new high-capacity cart washing system and a low-temperature sterilizer for the medical device reprocessing department, which officials say will modernize workflow, reduce manual labor, and ensure surgical instruments are prepared to the highest safety standards.
We're making sure that the right instrumentation is properly assembled, sterilized, ready to go for any type of procedure. So people think about the operating room, and that is 85% of what we do. But we also have trays, and we have things like small as bedpans and wash basins that are used throughout the whole hospital.
20 to 30 carts like this are processed every single day. Sherrington says with the addition of the second washer to be installed sometime in April, the hope is that all hand washing could be eliminated. Unfortunately, over the last year, the current washer has been unavailable at least 7 times.
Right now, with only one cart washer, we can't get all this stuff done that we need to in just that one. We are washing stuff by hand, which is less than ideal when you're trying to disinfect things. The cart washer cycle is just over 30 minutes for most things, but the sterilizer, if it's in steam, is going over an hour. So it's a 4 to 6 hour cycle to get something back on the shelf.
The FDC Foundation has made several donations to HSN since 2019, starting with a gift to the donor milk program and a significant donation to the MRI campaign. And Keating says there are more donations that will be made in the future. Lindsay Alick, CTV News, Sudbury.
It's been 14 days of a bus driver strike with routes along West Nipissing, North Bay, Parry Sound. CTV's Madison Merrier has this update.
The around 60 bus drivers on strike have received an email from their employer, Alouette Bus Lines, that says in part the contract contains a clause that permits the consortium to terminate the contract in the event there is a labor disruption that lasts more than 15 days. The union president says they've not seen the clause and that this information has only come from the email Alouette Bus Line sent to its drivers.
It's kind of a risk for both, right? Because if the routes are pulled, then obviously there's no routes for the employer to put buses on. There's no buses for drivers to go on to. But at the end of the day, there's other bus companies that could potentially pick up those routes. So there's employment there. So it's not going to affect the members on the picket line as much as it's going to affect the employer.
The negotiations are still in a stalemate, with Alouette Bus Line's final offer of increasing drivers' hourly wage by 37 cents to $1.09.
They are still standing firm on what they're fighting for, right? They want that livable wage. And whether the contract gets pulled or not, because I mean, it could just be a scare tactic, right? So, but they're holding strong on that, and they're saying, no, we're not returning until you can provide us with a reasonable offer.
In a statement to CTV News, the company said the union representing Alouette Bus Line's drivers elected to strike after rejecting the company's offer, which included nearly a 15% wage increase over 3 years that would place drivers among the highest paid in the region.
I think it's still like a slap in the face, right? Like there's still folks out there, other companies out there that are being able to provide more for the same service. And to have these folks doing the same thing for less, really is a slap in the face.
We reached out to the consortium for a comment on the contract's clause. However, we did not receive a response by our deadline. It's unclear what will occur past Friday, March 13th, with the contract's uncertainty. Madison Marier, CTV News, Sudbury.
Timmins City Council has approved a 6-month pilot project to help passengers using Ontario Northland better connect with local transit. The project would align Timmins Transit's schedule with the Ontario Northlander rail service schedule, allowing passengers to plan their trips to and from their destination in Timmins to the track. Northlander passenger rail service is expected to return later this year, but the preliminary information from Ontario Northland suggests their departure and arrival times may be outside current transit hours. City staff will provide a full proposal to Council for final approval before any changes are made. We're learning more tonight about the roof issues at L'École Catholique Nouvelle-Garde in Cochrane. Officials say now that snow has been removed, repairs to the roof will be necessary. Meanwhile, they're considering 2 scenarios to get students back in classrooms. One option would be a return to in-person learning in the wings of the school not affected by structural damage. The other would be to resume learning in other locations in the community. A committee has been meeting to determine the best path forward. Time now for a short break here on CTV News. Coming up, Rick will have your full weather forecast. For now, let's take a look at the weather warning in place tonight, and just one to speak of at the moment, Manitoulin in the line of fire of a system moving through. Right now, it's just a special weather statement, but snowfall tomorrow will range between 10 and 15 centimeters. Moving over to the current conditions as we see them, -13 in Kapuskasing, -14 in Chapleau. I think that's the coldest spot at the moment. Parry Sound the warmest at -5. We're seeing a little bit of flurries, not much. Clear skies in Wawa, -10 in Timiskaming Shores, -12 in Timmins, -9 in Sudbury. We'll have details coming up after the break.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400 from your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Certainly hope you had a great day. We didn't have rain, freezing rain, ice pellets, or snow. So all in all, it was pretty good. But we do have some snow in the forecast coming up for tomorrow. Get ready for the numbers momentarily. Our forecast radar, the system moving in. And the amounts, well, they'll be okay. You can handle a few centimeters here and there depending on where you live. We'll get to those momentarily. Then we'll get a bit of a break come Saturday, then more snow on Sunday and Monday. Here we go. Sudbury Nickel Belt, 2 to 4 centimeters during the day tomorrow, 2 to 4 tomorrow evening, -4 your high. Chance of flurries. Now, here we go with snow Sunday, Monday. No amounts just yet from Environment Canada. I'm working on it. -6 and -2 your daytime highs. Chance of flurries Tuesday, -10 on the cool down. -6 Wednesday with the sun and cloud. Now for those of you in Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma, 5 centimeters during the day tomorrow, 2 centimeters tomorrow evening, -2 your daytime high. Saturday, sunshine, -3. Snow on Sunday, -3. -6 Monday, some snow. Chance of flurries, -9 come Tuesday. So again, snow pretty well copy and paste right across the Northeast. Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing. Chance of flurries for tomorrow. Maybe some snow late tomorrow evening. -6 during the day. -6 Saturday, sun and cloud. Chance of snow Sunday, -7. Here we go with snow on Monday. -8 your daytime high. Chance of flurries Tuesday, -13. Sun and cloud Wednesday at -7. Now to Timiskaming Shores, Kirkland Lake. Flurries tomorrow during the day, 2 to 4 centimeters. At night, -3 your high. Chance of flurries Saturday, -5. Snow Sunday, -6. 0 Monday, more snow. Chance of flurries Tuesday, -11. And -7 come Wednesday with the sun and cloud. So a little bit of everything. Some snow, some sun and cloud, and the chance of flurries as well. North Bay, West Nipissing, 2 centimeters during the day, 5 centimeters at night, -2 your high. Chance of flurries for Saturday. -3 your high. Snow on Sunday, -3. More snow Monday, -3. And on the cool down Tuesday, -10 with an overnight low of -19. Wednesday, a lot better, -5, some sun and clouds. So Ian Campbell, we get a bit of a break for today. We've got a little bit of snow for tomorrow. A bit of a break come Saturday, then more snow come at least Sunday and Monday for now, according to Environment Canada. I'll throw things back to you.
Thanks, Rick. I think, well, the good weather will hopefully soon be upon us, but in case you can't wait, some Sudburyans are getting an early start on fishing this week. This was the scene inside the Countryside Arena tonight as the 51st annual John Hazen Memorial Sudbury Game and Fish Pond got underway. Anglers of all ages get a chance to try and hook a trout to raise funds for conservation efforts in the area. The group's vice president says it's a tradition in the city and a great chance to introduce your child to fishing.
We started with 800 fish, mixed speckled and rainbow trout. I think so far we've had 125, 130 fish caught today. So we're down to about 670 fish. There's been another 100, 150 fish caught and released, which we like to see because we're a conservation club.
The fish pond will run until March 22nd. Tickets are $5 for a round, 3 rounds for $10, and for the family, $20 for 20 rounds for $50. Northern Ontario's medical school is putting a big push on health equity. It's trying to ensure that as many residents as possible have access to a primary care provider regardless of location, culture, or background. CTV's Angela Gemmell with more.
Behind these doors could be the answer many Northerners are searching for when it comes to finding a family doctor.
57% of our graduates over the past 20 years have gone into family medicine as a specialty, and we need to keep focused on that, growing those programs so we're graduating family doctors who stay and work here in the north.
Nawsum University has a new 5-year strategic plan. It's the first since the medical school became an independent standalone medical school in 2022. More than 2,000 partners and community members were consulted on what should be in the plan.
It's very much an in the north, by the north, for the north plan, focused on helping Northern Ontario to achieve health equity across all of its different areas and with other parts of Canada through providing exceptional training, research, education to the future doctors that will be serving Northern Ontarians.
Green says the focus on health equity ensures Nawsum trains, retains, and supports health professionals who can provide care to the underserved communities like rural, remote, Indigenous, and Francophone populations, areas the Ontario Medical Association says are underserved.
There's a lot of different groups that we know have less access to this. And then also with that kind of leads to more issues because that means they're not getting the regular screening. We're not identifying issues early. And so they're presenting later and more likely to present to emergency care.
OMA says 2.5 million people across the province don't have a family doctor, adding Nawsum has been critical in helping address the doctor shortage. With campuses in Sudbury and Thunder Bay, Nawsum University will admit 88 students to its undergraduate medical education program this fall. Since the school first started 20 years ago, 1,041 doctors have graduated, most staying in the north. Angela Gemmell, CTV News, Sudbury.
DIY Community Health Timmins is growing. The nonprofit organization has acquired Jan's Closet thrift store, and officials say this development will allow it to improve services and form partnerships with other small businesses. CTV's Lydia Chubak reports.
With a building permit already on display, DIY Community Health Timmins is getting ready to expand. It's recently acquired this thrift store known as Jan's Closet, but it will soon have a new name to reflect the vision DIY Community Health Timmins has for this space.
So we wanted to create a safe, accessible way for people to do that, share their strengths, share their talents, get together with their friends, meet new people. So we wanted to create a safe place for that. And it just seemed like the right opportunity and the right time to move forward with a little bit more of our program expansion.
The intent is to design a welcoming place for people to gather and explore opportunities, to learn new skills, engage in art, and also work towards employment.
We're going to be creating a cafe that's very much geared towards that idea of artist collaboration, musician collaboration, community collaboration, and just a safe place for people to come together and work on projects together. So I encourage people to come by, check out the store, and if they're interested in participating in the cafe or the idea of an artist collective, share your ideas with us.
Owl's Nest and Bound and Twisted are two local businesses that believe in what DIY Community Health wants to achieve with the expansion. Growing food to sustain the kitchen is one way they're showing support.
I think this place is really open to seeing different opportunities and exploring with, what resonates with people, what they're looking for, and drawing in a variety of different people. So I'm bringing the art that I do with Artful Expressions through Owl's Nest, as well as movement practices and somatic healing, also looking at arts through an expressive, creative process instead of focusing on, what it is that we're all making.
Sarita says revenues generated from the thrift shop and other enterprises will go directly to financing DIY Community Health Timmins' community programs. The goal is to have the renovations completed by May or June. Lydia Chubak, CTV News, Timmins.
Still ahead tonight on CTV News. A tough-fought pair of games over in the OHL, including our Hounds, who are down in Windsor taking on the Spitfires. More on that in a moment. A busy and a big night for Northern Ontario hockey fans, starting with our Sioux Greyhounds, who are out on the road tonight down in Windsor, facing off against the Spitfires.
They've got numbers through center, onto the wing for McNosa. Cross-screen driving the net back to Martin. He'll step into one and shoot and score. First shot on net. We'll get it to go.
Brady Martin gets his first goal since returning to the lineup tonight. It was also Sault Ste. Marie's first shot on goal, and it was a good one, finding the back of the net. This one, however, would require overtime, but Marco Mignosa would leave the big hero. He scores halfway through the extra period, leaving the game with a hat trick. Sioux beats Windsor 4-3. And another overtime game, this one here at home in North Bay. The Battalion at one point who were trailing Brantford 2-0, scoring 2 unanswered goals to send this into OT, with Kent Greer getting the game winner. Final score 3-2 North Bay. Over in the NOJHL, things were pretty neck and neck until the Sudbury Cubs decided to pull away in the third. The Cubs beating the Sault Michigan Eagles tonight on home ice 6-2. Well, former NHLers and Garden River Zone Ted and Jordan Nolan are being welcomed to this year's Little Native Hockey League, otherwise known as the world's largest First Nation hockey tournament. The Nolans will be on hand for the special opening reception, a speaking session. There will also be opportunities for photos and autographs, NHL memorabilia displays, and a jersey raffle. It all takes place March 15th, while this year's tournament runs from the 15th to the 19th. Good luck to all our northern teams competing. YMCA Immigrant Services in Sudbury recently created and published a cookbook for newcomers. It's designed to acknowledge the distance that can exist between kitchens of different cultures and aims to make that gap a little smaller. CTV's Elena Everson reports.
YMCA Immigrant Services in Sudbury has helped newcomers from 67 different countries since it opened 15 years ago. It assisted more than 700 newcomers last year.
You leave home and you need to feel good. You arrive here and you don't have nobody to ask anything. How you use GOVA, how to go to grocery store, where you can find employment, okay, maybe how you can do the registration at school, that kind of thing.
This cookbook is being given to each new family and includes recipes from around the world, bringing people together at the table.
If they see this cookbook, they can go to cultural market, they can go to the grocery store, understand better what ingredient they can use, and maybe try to do the same plate at home that they did at home country, and that help with mental health too.
Angelica Veloza is a dietitian who came to Sudbury from Colombia 2 years ago. She helped collaborate and coordinate the cookbook.
Depending on the country, there are many places where you can buy food. There are also different brands, flavors, names. So when you're here, you don't know how to start. You go to different places and the food looks different.
YMCA Immigrant Services is currently working on a new initiative to match volunteers with newcomers on their first visit to the grocery store or library. Alana Everson, CTV News, Sudbury.
What a wonderful idea. That takes us to the end of our newscast this Thursday night. For the latest news anytime, remember you can head to our website, ctvnewsnorthernontario.ca. You can also download our CTV News app. Thanks for watching. Good day.